Save $2 on tree-ripe juicy peaches and nectarines, $2.99 per pound. Family pack fresh ground hamburger, only $2.99 per pound. Save $1.10 on ShopRite Sharp shredded cheese, $2.99 for an 8-ounce package. Package of 4s, double rolls, Charmin Ultra Soft or strong toilet tissue, $4.99. Matchlight charcoal briquettes, $8.99 for a 3.1-pound bag. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
And you're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, July 18th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. Topping our news, rats. The head of the government's vector control program is urging the public not to panic over reports of increased rat sightings on the island. Vector control manager Armel Thomas told Bermuda Broadcasting News there is no evidence that the rat population has spiraled out of control, as some have reported. He believes there are simple steps residents can take to ensure the rat situation is kept at bay.
And the bad boys like the dessert.
Okay.
According to Armel Thomas, the program manager for government's vector control, recent reports of rat sightings do not necessarily mean that the rat problem has worsened. Here's what he told our Jasmine Patterson.
For the public, if they don't understand about rodents and those types of things, of course it's going to be, I see a lot of rats and things like that, but this is quite normal for us throughout the season, anywhere starting from April right on up to October, November. It's very high season for us when it comes to the rodents.
Mr. Thomas, who is also a senior environmental health officer, has some advice if you think you have a rodent problem in your neighborhood.
If people spot rodents, they should call us at 278-5397, the vector control number. And if they don't have service with us already, we will send a team out to do service of the property. They will let us know, then we'll let them know exactly how many bait boxes they need to purchase. Bait boxes are $15 each. The service is free.
If rodent numbers aren't out of the ordinary, then what is it that is causing the public to complain about rat sightings, you might ask?
Because in the summertime, people have families, schools out, they tend to vacation, they're home a bit more than normal. And, when you're home, you tend to see creatures that you've never really seen because you're not used to being home because of work. Also, we have activities at the home, barbecues, parties, and people tend not to clean the barbecues correctly right after the barbecue. So all of those drippings there, any source of food or even garbage is, the rodent's going to be attracted to.
The island's rat population has been in the news lately, with some residents linking it to the reduced once-per-week trash collection schedule put in place reluctantly by government due to the cost of the previous twice-weekly service. Complaints over residents putting their garbage out on days trash is not being collected led to calls from the OBA for government to reinstate twice-weekly collections regardless of the cost.
I believe that in Bermuda right now that the populace, the taxpayer, would pay more and pay overtime to have their trash picked up twice a week. We cannot continue to have headlines of rats upon rats upon rats getting into our trash. Right now, there's not a policy out there that says you can't put out your trash in a plastic bag on the street.
Mr. Thomas told us the public can take measures against rodent infestation through responsible garbage disposal.
Making sure that they're putting out their trash on the days that are required. Making sure that they're not overfeeding the animals, the pets, because if they're overfeeding the food, dog food or cat food, you're going to have rodent activity. So those types of things, picking up the debris in their yards and those types.
Many might not know just how proliferous rodents can be.
Babies, rats for 5 weeks can start mating, you know what I mean? So one adult rat can pull off about 25 babies in a year. So every 5 weeks, or say 3 months or so, they can become pregnant.
If you suspect you might have a rat problem in your neighborhood, you should dial Vector Control on 278-5397. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Tarai. In other news, Attorney General Kathy Lynn Simmons reassuring the community tonight that a high-risk offender is being monitored effectively despite the absence of an electronic monitoring device. Yesterday, the court hearing of an offender was postponed, which was meant to determine whether an EMD would be safe for the individual to wear after his counsel argued it interfered with his medication. Senator Simmons says the issue overall, though, is a matter for the courts.
We don't control that piece, unfortunately. That's totally within the remit of the judiciary. What I can say is that I'm satisfied, as far as I can be, that the Department of Court Services has in place a regime to monitor him post-incarceration. So he is subject to curfew checks and various analysis that he has to submit to. And so as far as we're concerned at this present stage, notwithstanding that he hasn't been fitted with the device, we're doing our very best to make sure we monitor him to keep the community safe. He does fall into the category of a high-risk offender, so he will have special attention to ensure that, number one, he abides by the conditions of his release, and that we actually ensure that our supervisory process is efficient in keeping everyone safe.
Coming up, the absolutely unimaginable loss of a family for a Kenyan man due to the Ethiopian plane crash. We have that interview, the latest weather news, and more. Stay with us.
Whoa, baby.
Rising Inferno, in association with Driven Society, presents Island Soul Fest Night 1. It's Cranium, live in Bermuda. July 26th at the Inferno Lounge on the Terrace, featuring music by Twin Star, DJ iBreeze, Juggling J, and your local acts performing E-Levels, Chinyeri, and iBree. Tickets are $35. More at the door. Get your tickets from Choices, 27th Century Boutique, Manco, Bananas Party Boutique, and ptix.bm. It's Island Soul Fest Night 1. It's Cranium, live in Bermuda, July 26th. At the Inferno Lounge on the Terrace.
Sears is Bermuda's largest home appliance store with over 200 appliances in our showroom. We have refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, washers and dryers. Sears has a wide selection of craftsman's tools and accessories. Beautify your home with our lawn and garden tools. We have everything you need for outdoor entertaining. Located at 41 Victoria Street, Sears is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sears, reliable delivery, quality service, and everyday low prices.
Like so many of our athletes, Nick Kime started young. He was playing squash at the age of 5. He has gone on to dominate the sport here, capturing his first Bermuda championship in 1997. He went on to win 2 national championships and 12 Bermuda Squash Racket Association championships. On the international circuit, Nick has represented the island 5 times in the Commonwealth Games, has medaled in the CAC Games, and achieved a career-high 63 in the world rankings. The 38-year-old will be taking his A game to the Pan Am Games in Lima.
A Bermuda resident, Paul Njoroge, a Kenyan man who lost his family, including young children, on board the doomed Ethiopian Flight 302, is seeking to bring criminal charges against the executives of the aircraft manufacturer. The banker thanked the community for their outpouring of love and support in the aftermath of the March airline crash. But now he hopes to use his grief to help other survivors of aviation tragedies. He has lobbied U.S. Congress for corporate laws to be amended to make company executives personally liable for negligence, which he believes led to the death of his family and 152 other souls. We sat down with him in our studios.
The unthinkable happened in March of this year. Paul Njoroge's 5 family members, including his infant daughter, were among the 157 casualties of the Ethiopian airline Flight 302 crash. Njoroge's wife, Carolyn Karanya, was traveling to Kenya with her 7-month-old daughter, Ruby, 7-year-old son, Ryan, 4-year-old daughter, Kelly, and her 60-year-old mother, Anne Karanya. They were living in Canada, while Paul was due to finish work here in Bermuda. Haunted by the tragic circumstances of which his family were taken from him, Joroge says some days are better than others.
There are no more bad days. There are no more moments of joys, walks along the parks, walks along the streets, and there are no more times in the playgrounds, and that's so difficult. It's so difficult, and I cannot say that at this point I know what next in my life. I'm still at that point where I feel lost, so much lost, that sometimes I don't feel like I want to wake up to face another day.
In the 4 months that have passed, Joroge has used his grief to enact change. The same Boeing 737 MAX model crashed months earlier in Indonesia. Joroge says that airplane manufacturers were aware of the faulty technical system, but he says there was no urgency on the part of Boeing to see to it those planes were grounded.
189 people, 187 of them were Indonesians, and there was one Italian and one Indian. And I felt like the lives of people in the developing economies is not considered to be of the same value with the lives of people in the developed nations, and that's why the publicity was not there.
The MAX planes have been linked to both aviation disasters, which killed 346 people. No planes have flown since.
If the first crash happened in the United States, then the planes would have been grounded, and today I would be with my family.
Now there's news that Ryanair has renamed its fleet of Boeing 737 MAX to 737-8200, which some say may be an attempt to distance itself from the troubled model. Paul feels laws need to change.
The public should be able to sue these individuals and hold them criminally liable so that they can face years in prison. Because if that was the case, then Boeing executives would have grounded these planes in November last year.
He's found hope grounded in faith and in building relationships with other relatives of victims of the crash.
With them, we can talk about our intimate feelings. Things like how did you see the crash site, and the process of the identification of human remains. So I believe that we've been able to encourage each other, and we've drawn strength from each other. When I meet them and they momentarily forget about their pain just to feel my pain, and it means a lot.
He hopes bringing legal action against Boeing will help prevent future casualties, so no one will have to suffer as he does.
So heartbreaking. We are so sorry, Mr. Joroge. Turning to weather news, a sunny and very warm Friday headed our way. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and what a humid pattern we're in right now, and we don't really see too many changes over the next several days here. We've got the humid conditions, muggy nights, warm daytime temperatures, and I was actually looking at some of the stats. So far this month here in July, our average high temperature has been running about 2 degrees above normal for the month. So if you feel like it's been hotter than normal, well, you're right about that. It has been a warm month, at least so far. As we take a look at what's going on radar right now, not a whole lot. We've had a couple of lightning strikes to our south, and also you can see some moisture just off to our west. But rain chances over the next several days are going to be relatively limited. Might see a stray shower as we head into tonight, but besides that, anything that we see is going to be in and out fairly quickly here, so we're kind of entering into more of a drier pattern. As we look at current winds, you can see winds are coming in out of the south and west. High pressure is going to continue to dominate the forecast over the next couple of days, so again, we are staying dry, warm, and definitely very muggy. Look at the humidity right now. This hasn't changed a whole lot over the last couple of days. Humidity between 70 and 75%. Winds are very light, so you don't get much relief with all of that humid air that's in place. 5 to 10 knots for our wind speeds. The water temperature, Like I said yesterday, it's like bath water right now, so if you like warm water, hop on in it right now because it feels great. Waves inside the reef around 1 foot. And outside of the reef, we're looking at waves between 2 and 4 feet. No marine concerns as we head into tonight. You can see your tidal times right here. 10:33 tonight is your high tide, and then tomorrow morning we have our low tide just after 5 a.m. Breaking down some of the other numbers for you here, you can see rainfall yesterday. Not a whole lot of that. July rainfall, we've had just over 2 inches of rain, and we're actually running below normal for the month of July as far as rainfall is concerned, and we're starting to see the deficit kind of getting closer together here. We're still above average for our annual rain, but you'll notice the year-to-date normal not too far behind. So again, we're getting into a drier pattern here with the exception of tonight, a passing shower. That's all it's going to be, a low of 78 degrees for tonight. So very warm, very humid. We take you into Friday's forecast here. Clouds and sunshine, a high of 86 degrees. And our low temperature tomorrow night staying in the upper 70s. The Caribbean also on the muggy side as well. You can see that we do have some thunderstorms popping up around Jamaica, Barbados, and also Trinidad. No tropical development, and that's what we like to see, especially with the water being so warm right now. A few other destinations, things looking a bit unsettled for parts of the East Coast for tomorrow, but for us here locally, it just stays very warm right into early next week, so enjoy the sunshine and try and stay cool.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
And you're watching the Thursday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, Zane De Silva, the Minister of Tourism and Transport, today attended a tour of the Royal Palms Hotel. It's just one of the 40-plus properties listed on the government's tourism accommodations inventory as a small hotel. So far, the minister has visited Greenbank Guest House, cottages, and Sandpiper Apartments, Four Ways Inn, Invery Executive Suites, and Parakeet Guest Apartments in a move to foster a working relationship with the owners of the accommodations. He was joined by Teresa Harney-Zool, the general manager.
I was very graciously escorted around these properties by the owners and or the general managers. In addition to familiarizing myself with the layout of the property, I also used this opportunity to hear firsthand what the issues are with respect to operating a hotel in Bermuda and how the government may assist in resolving some of those issues.
In addition, Minister De Silva says he paid visit to the Rosedale, Rosemont, Oxford House, and Robin's Nest to have frank discussions about the quality of Bermuda's tourism product, issues, and solutions, and he discussed the various accommodations the island has in its collection.
The tourism accommodations inventory list includes the following categories: large resort hotels, small hotels, cottage colonies, clubs, large cottages, suites and apartments, small cottages, suites and apartments, inns, bed and breakfast, flotels, and vacation rental homes. You will hear more from me regarding the vacation rental homes category, which was more recently added to the inventory in the near future. As I previously stated, it is my aim to visit our hotels, both large and small, and to form lasting relationships with the key tourism stakeholders in Bermuda.
Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news after the break. Stay tuned.
Unity Fest is slated to be the biggest concert of the summer with headliner Bougie Banton, and it got a whole lot better with the local lineup being announced. So on August 17 at National Sports Center, you're going to see Bougie Banton, Rainy Wonder, Agent Sasko, aka Assassin, and Massacre are expected to be on stage along with local artists Jesse Seymour, Kadanger, Live Wires, all backed by the Wall Street Band. And there's a whole DJ lineup for the night, including the mighty Stone Love out of Jamaica. There's also local DJs, DJ Chubb, DJ iBreeze, Juggling Jason, Black Star, Blacker Knights, Tony Cross, Ryan Saeed. And Unity Fest is hosted by Java and Young Chow of New York's Hot 97. There are limited tickets left, so make sure you buy them at www.unityfestivalbda.com. But if you want to buy them locally, you can get them at People's Pharmacy, Choices, and Summer Supermart in St. George's.
Earl Baston has tonight's sports report.
Bermuda's third match of the women's Under-20 CONCACAF Championship against Suriname in Guyana saw Bermuda come away with a big 6-1 victory, something that pleased head coach Nikita Robinson.
We always knew that we could score these types of goals. We got into goal scoring positions again, and tonight we executed well. We still missed many, but we were a lot more clinical in front of goal tonight. The same type of game we saw against Guyana and St. Lucia, especially St. Lucia game. The St. Lucia game, the scoreline should have been identical to this one, if not more. But that's how the game goes sometimes. We figured it out. We spent a lot more time on finishing and training yesterday, and the girls worked a lot harder at pressing higher up the pitch.
The Hampel Youth Sailing World Championships continued in Poland with Campbell Patton flying the Bermuda flag. Patton ended the day 23rd in the laser radial fleet with 100 net points. During the 4 races sailed on the day, Patton recorded back-to-back 15th-place finishes to go along with a 20th-place finish and closed out with a 34th-place finish. Meanwhile, the Wednesday night sailing series that starts and ends in the Hamilton Harbor continued with 16 boats going to the start line for race day 13. Nasty Medicine was the first boat to cross the line, clocking a time of 59.16, and with their corrected time of 1:04.39 saw them finish 6th on the night. Smokin was the second boat to cross the line in a time of 1:06.23, and with their corrected time of 1:01.22, saw them finish first on the night. Man o' War was clocked at 1:07.40, and with their corrected time of 1:02.33, saw them finish second. Mayhem was third on the night with a corrected time of 1:03.25, this after crossing the line in a time of 1:07.39. Air Force was fourth on the night with a corrected time of 1:03.38, and Windfire rounded out the top 5 finishers with a corrected time of 1:04.29. Daniel Phillips continued competing once again on the European Junior Tennis Tour in the San Michel TE Under-14 Junior Tournament in Malta. In the boys' 14 singles main draw, Phillips took on Mariano Palmero from Germany. Phillips unfortunately would fall in a 3-set battle. Phillips won the first set 6-love, but would fall 6-2 in the second set. He would then fall 6-2 in the third and final set. Kenny Lejour concluded competing in the SJGT Southern Junior Golf Tournament in Alabama. At the end of the second round in the boys 14 to 15 division, Lejour would finish tied second. Lejour shot a second round 6 over par 78. Lejour's second round consists of 13 pars, 4 bogeys, and 1 double bogey. Aries Sports Center, in partnership with the Bermuda Sandshell Association, is excited to announce the Aries Fighting Championships that will take place this coming Saturday at the National Sports Center. Organizer Cyril Witter tells us just what one could expect.
You got the likes of Krista, Royale, and Riley, who's going to be on the card, demonstrating full contact kickboxing, throws, push-outs on a raised platform. We have black belts on the island, lucky enough, competing against black belts overseas in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're going to fight to see who can throw somebody in the ground the hardest, pin them and submit them against their other person's will. We have youth starting as young as 5 years old throughout the day, teenagers, and then adults, women and men across kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So what makes this unique is, 1, it's full contact. 2, it's for points or for knockout or submission. So you can go all out. But some of these competitions are round robin. So you have competitors who have to do 2 or 3 matches throughout the day, and they have to save themselves throughout the entire day. They may start a match at 9 and do another one at 1 and have to do another one at 6. So we're very excited because it's something that Bermuda's never seen.
The Junior CAS Individual Squash Championships are underway in Trinidad, with Bermuda's players taking to the court. On the opening day in the Under-17 Boys Singles Division, Charlie Riker defeated his opponent from the British Virgin Islands in straight games 11-8, 11-3, 11-love. Matthew Elliott defeated his opponent from Trinidad and Tobago in straight games 11-8, 11-7, 11-9. During the girls Under-17 Division, Abigail Brewer defeated her opponent from Cayman Islands in straight games 11-2, 11-3, 11-3, while Ariana Lothar went down in straight games to her opponent from Trinidad and Tobago 11-9, 11-7, 11-4. Anaya Smith won his boys Under-19 opening match, defeating his opponent from Cayman Islands in straight games 11-7, 11-8, 11-3. The Bermuda Basketball League season came to an exciting end inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium last evening. For those in attendance, they were treated to a match that ended level at the end of regulation time and was decided by 1 point in overtime. The Pembroke Skyforce and Southampton Wolfpack took to the court to do battle, and at the end of the regulation time, the scores were level at 57. The Pembroke Skyforce would score 7 points in overtime and restrict Southampton Wolfpack to just 6 to win 64-63. Jericho Tucker led the Pembroke Skyforce with 19 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals, while Gershon Kurt added 11 points for the Pembroke Skyforce, and he was named the game's MVP as he added 23 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 5 blocked shots. Mikhail Glasgow scored a game-high 30 points for the Southampton Wolfpack. He grabbed 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal, while Jason Lowe chipped in with 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Save $1 on fresh country-style pork ribs, just $3.79 per pound. Whole red, ripe, seedless watermelons, $12.99 each. Select varieties of Friendly's dessert ice cream cups, only $3.49 for an 8.5-ounce tub. Save $3 on select varieties of Crystal Light drink mix, $5.69 for a 1.4-ounce package. 12-pack refreshing LaCroix sparkling water, only $8.99 for select varieties. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more super specials.
Race smart, not hard. Sage advice that Caitlin built upon to make her name in cycling. These wise words came from her coach, Dominique Mayo, who helped take her to the next level and secure victory in the Bermuda Grand Prix in 2018. That boosted her confidence and led to a superb third-place finish in a time trial at the Caribbean Championship. Caitlin trains hard and routinely traverses the island on her bike, burning enough calories to indulge her weakness for chocolate croissants and cappuccino. An avid traveler, she has visited every continent. Next stop, Peru and the Pan Am Games.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.pm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Turning to health news, why some patients leave the hospital worse than when they arrived. Kenneth Craig has a look at some of the day's top health stories.
A new study in the British Medical Journal finds nearly 1 in 20 hospital patients is affected by preventable harm or mistakes while being treated in surgical or intensive care units. Researchers say 12% of those incidents cause disabilities or death. Researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital find that despite stringent restrictions, pregnant women are still using a strong acne medication. Isotretinoin, also known as Accutane, carries a high risk of severe birth defects. And researchers at Kaiser Permanente in California say both upper systolic and lower diastolic blood pressures can independently predict risk of heart attack or stroke. Previous research has indicated that high systolic blood pressure is more likely to lead to health issues. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
That's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer with a quick shout out to Indiana visitors Kim, Brianna, Logan, and Camden Schaffner. We're happy to hear you enjoy your time in Bermuda. Please come back soon. Good night, everyone.